Welcome to My Jane, My Story, the only show that enables women to share their own secrets and insights to wellness, one story at a time.
Thanks, Paul. Good afternoon, everybody. Happy summer afternoon. Isn't it summer outside today? Well, this is Diane McConaughey. I'm here from My Jane. I am one of the wellness concierges here at My Jane, and I am honored to be here as an interviewer this time. I was in the hot seat last time. So we are here creating a business by women for women, where our mission is to help you own your wellness. Our focus here is just getting through community education and exploration of cannabis to address our biggest concerns, such as sleep, pain, and stress, which we have interviewed over 40,000 women in Orange County, and their biggest complaint was sleep. And that is such an important part of our lives. So we like to share stories here. We like to talk about cannabis and health and how we can help each other and support each other in this nice, wonderful place. And I'm so honored today to be here with who I mentioned as my cannabis angel last time I was here, Keiko Beatie. Keiko is a practitioner of holistic, Ayurvedic, and Chinese medicine. She's an educator, a writer, a chef, an activist. She is truly my cannabis angel. So thank you for being here today, Keiko.
Diane, thank you so much for having me. And hello, my Jane Wellness ladies out there and gentlemen as well. Such an honor to be here and to be able to support, people finding their own health within and wonderful to be here. Thank you
No,
again.
we're so happy to have you here, Keiko, because I know that you are all about wellness and helping people and supporting. And I'm so excited to be able to sit here
I'm
with you.
excited too. Definitely.
Because I do know a little bit about your background, but please tell everybody. I would like to know more about where you're from and just how you got into this wonderful industry.
Well, I actually was born and raised in a faraway exotic place called Fullerton, California, which is right at the heart of the OC. And I grew up in a family where I thought herbs and cupping and natural medicine was just part of everyday life. I thought that every little girl had to massage their father's shoulders
Oh,
and necks and knees. But as I learned and I grew up and I saw the differences in other families, I felt, well, was this child labor laws or what? But I was very blessed to find out how natural medicine was just a part of natural everyday life.
that's
And
great.
we are live and living beings, and being able to support that through our life just becomes something that was a part of me. So I
Yeah.
always wanted to look to study it and have much more knowledge of it as well.
Good.
And being here in Orange County, I actually moved away when I was older to start those practices.
Oh,
Yeah,
good. Yeah. So you grew up with this. So this
I
is
did
this is
grow up
just
with
your
it.
nature.
Right, and then the Summer Olympics that took place in Brazil, and all the swimmers that competitive swimmers had the round welted circles on their back. Everybody wanted to know what this was, and I thought, I've been doing that since before I was 10 years old. But nowadays, more and more people are becoming aware of natural plant-based medicine and the benefits of it, and how I even got into the cannabis space is all part of that as well. I have a specialty in what's called Bach flower and homeopathics, which is the
Oh,
science of natural plant-based flower medicine.
nice.
And what cannabis is, of course, the more the female flower plant is just the flower buds, and as well as for the hemp plant, where we're getting a lot of CBD from, that's a part of the flower bud of the plant.
Oh, so you studied this at a young age then?
Yes, I did.
Wow.
I'll tell you how long ago it was. It was in the 70s. And I found that these natural plants have been around for thousands of years. And of course, as we know, it was about 2700 BC when they found the tombs in ancient China of different medicine people there and the herbologists with cannabis plants and hemp plants within their tombs there. So it's been around for thousands of years.
Well, and being back in the 70s, I mean, yeah, that wasn't really revered as, medicine. So how did you overcome that when you started studying, and how did you talk to people about that?
I knew it was a medicine, so I knew I wasn't far much off the base, and I definitely was studying from a very early age, and I was interested in learning about how to take care of very serious diseases. And at that time, I finding out about Laetrile, which was extracted from the apricot seed,
Oh,
and
wow.
how people felt that that was something that could help with cancer. And one of the first places I went to was a place called Plaza Santa Maria in Mexico, and that was about mid 70s. And that's actually where Steve McQueen went to when he was trying to take care
Oh,
of his
wow.
cancer.
Wow.
And while I was there studying that, I also found out about more live juice therapies, such as wheatgrass juice was utilized quite a bit, about oxygenating the blood system with high contents of chlorophyll. And it just became a natural pastime of mine. And I, you know, felt like this was something I was always going to have with me, either as a profession, but just as a natural part of my life. I did work in the music industry for a number of the years, and why I actually left the music industry, I saw too many friends and coworkers dying or just getting very ill from massive amounts of drugs and alcohol. It's sex, drugs, and rock and roll, but and I seemed to be able to stay clear of that in certain ways, but I did utilize cannabis.
Good.
And during those times, I just didn't get into the other deeper chemical issues, and I was lucky.
Yeah.
But I continued on and studied, and after that is when I started going to Twin Lakes Holistic College, a Live Polarity Institute, which is off the coast of Orcas Island, and it just became a quest and passion of mine, where at one point in time I had decided I was studying rebirthing, midwifery, just everything was my cornucopia of desires in the seeking my knowledge there. And met a man in Santa Cruz over the granola bin at the Staff of Life. And when we got married and I found myself pregnant, I had just got done studying rebirthing and a new form of birth that was done underwater. So I became the
Wow.
third person in the United States to have a baby born underwater.
That's amazing.
And because I couldn't find an OBGYN or even a midwife to assist, I just ended up delivering my son myself.
Wow. Wow, Keiko.
But, you know, for
Such a,
me,
yeah.
it was natural
Yeah,
and it was
absolutely.
something I felt confident in. It's not something I suggest other people do, but I was ready, I was new, and I knew who I was. And I had people around me who could step in to assist. So
Yeah,
just-
that's amazing.
it turned out good for me.
Yeah, and you're so passionate. I always love to hear you talk, and I love to hear your passion for health and just for natural methods. I just think it's so wonderful that you talk to people and you support people in that realm, and you even support yourself, which is so great, and your
I
son.
do. And yes, my son, the little boy underwater, he definitely did. Little did I know when I was raising him in Laguna Beach, he was actually growing in the hills of Laguna Beach. He was a secret cultivator because I didn't want my son to get in trouble and with the law, but there he was, a cultivator. He was fascinated by more the science of it. We did end up just a few years ago, we started a cultivation and delivery service in Southern California, and it became very successful. And we helped so many patients, and that's
Yeah.
where I really put to use a lot of my background.
Yes.
And what we would do is I would go consult with patients who would call in with serious diseases and being able to help them with natural medicine of all different forms, topicals, edibles, tinctures, and smokables as well. And that really gave me a lot more insight. And one thing is that I never charged for that service. We did have to, if there was a cost for the medicine, there was. But I always felt if people were not feeling well, I didn't want to be any financial burden to them. My purpose was just to reach out and help them with information and give them the knowledge to find
Yes.
their peace within as well as their health.
You are such a healer. You
Well-
definitely are. You were my healer. You're one of my healers, so I attest to that.
It's an honor to be
Yeah.
there and feel that you consider me your healer.
Yeah.
But I was there to assist you and help you educate yourself for your
Yes.
own body's
You
sake.
did. You did. How did you get your education in cannabis? Because you have such a vast educate. You have such a vast knowledge of cannabis. How did you start
I
studying?
studied a lot on my own.
Okay.
And I did go to some classes here and there. And a lot of the herbology I studied with Dr. Michael Tierra, and he was in Santa Cruz. And he wrote the book, The Way of Herbs.
Oh, nice.
And like I said, I went to many other institutes as well. I actually went to you're always on, when you're on that type of path, you look and seek towards about anything to
right.
keep your balance. And so I even studied at Ananda, the yoga school. That was one of the first yoga schools here in the United States back in the 70s, and that was in Grass Valley. And through it all, I've met amazing people and know that, if we can all just reach out and help people, it makes
Yeah.
our heart and mind and spirit a better place.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
right now, with so much coming forward about the cannabis plant being much more accessible legally, through at least 11 states is adult use now, and 30 states are either medical or adult use here in the United States. We still have 20 more states to go, but I really want to look forward to and envisioning us as a country being able to have access to natural plant-based medicine. So we need to descheduleize the plant.
Yep.
So I really feel I am a balance of an educator, activist, and if anybody so-called honors me with the title as healer.
Healer, definitely. You absolutely are, Keiko.
But through it all, created a lot of businesses, and now there's a big farm in Southern Oregon, and now we've also working on developing dispensaries in Oklahoma.
Oh, wow. That's great.
And Oklahoma is the second state right now in growth-wise of medical cannabis growing.
Wow.
And it's exciting to see this happening in the new states.
Yeah, and I know that you've been doing this for so long. It's probably is so exciting for you to see how many people it is helping and what people are opening their minds to it.
It is. And this week's an exciting week for me because there's another person here in Orange County that's now cancer-free.
Oh,
Yay! One person at a time, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's all we can ask for.
Right.
And with your guidance, I couldn't see how they couldn't be because you're such a light for me going through it. And I know that you see so many people with so many different illnesses and issues. And what do you tell them when they come to you and they're looking for healing and they're scared about cannabis? What do you tell them as to how to start or where to begin on that journey?
Everybody is different. And I, as a human being, want to be able to open up my mind and my heart to understand where each person is coming from.
Yeah.
I talk to them, of course, about who they are, their family life, their background, and I'm trying to assess what's going to be comfortable for them.
Yeah.
I mean, not everybody's path is the same. So you really try and understand who you are and who you're with at that time to see what's going to be the best for them. Some people do want an easy, quick, pill-like answer to it,
Yeah.
and other people really do want to be a seeker. And you were a seeker, Diane.
No, well, I had such a good guide. We are always, but I'm like you. I have that same passion for plants and herbs and how the natural things can heal us. And I believe it just as deeply as you do that if we believe in it even more, that it's going to happen
Right.
for us, you know?
Right. And, I feel that right now the platform is getting larger as we expand all throughout the United States and the world. So I am director of education at a resort that's a 4-star resort with a focus on health and wellness through cannabis and CBD.
Great.
And we're putting together different educational programs, and that's actually located in Jamaica, and it's called Coral Cove Health and Wellness Center.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
It is. I just got back from there.
Oh, beautiful. What a great place to just go and heal and relax and enjoy life. Wow.
And I have some amazing programs coming up for
Yeah.
the end of 2019 as well as 2022. I mean, 2020. I'm getting
Wow.
ahead of myself.
And let's not go that far ahead, right?
We're actually in the midst of creating a cannabis research center with Dr. David Ostro
Good.
and a 32-bed clinic. So
Nice.
patients could actually go there, find out what they do need to be able to take and and heal themselves and find their balance with plant medicine.
Oh, that's so great, Keiko. I'm so excited to hear all of this.
I
I haven't heard
know.
all of this stuff lately, so
You
I'm very,
haven't, and you
yeah,
have to
you've been
come.
busy.
I have been busy. I have been busy. I've been actually speaking quite a bit
Yeah.
all throughout the country. I have a special senior program now that's getting
Yes.
a lot of attention, and because every minute, at least 7 people in the United States turn 65 every single minute.
Oh boy.
And probably by next year, anyone over 65, it may be the largest group of residents in the United States,
Yeah.
people over 65. And with that, your bodies get older, that changes, and
Those aches and pains come in,
oh,
don't
they
they?
sure do, as well as sleeplessness too.
Right, right, right. I know the sleep box. I'm telling you, I keep saying that sleep box is the best thing ever.
And I'm so glad that you have that available for people.
Yeah.
I happily have never had that problem going to sleep.
Lucky girl.
I know, and I'm wondering how did it happen. But of course, I do a lot of deep breathing and
Yeah.
meditation, and I always envision myself being able to receive sleep and
Good.
being able to rest my body.
Yeah, and I've always wondered that. Like, what does Keiko do to take care of herself? Because you're always taking care of everybody else. What do you do for yourself every day? I would love to know.
Well, I am a proponent of apple cider vinegar,
Oh, nice.
and I do love a lot of chlorophyll in the body to oxygenate the blood system. So I've been doing spirulina for years.
Okay.
And spirulina is, of course, a blue-green algae grown in high alkaline water. And the more of that high alkaline we can get into our system, the less our pain receptors are activated, and the more our body is able to regulate itself too.
Wow.
And as we oxygenate our blood system, we're bringing more life force throughout our body.
And then adding that cannabis just adds even more to
That's
it, right?
And one thing I'm finding out now about cannabis, have you heard about the cannabis DNA testing systems?
No, I haven't yet.
I've actually been doing a lot of research into that. There are DNA testing kits geared with your cannabis, and when you get your results, you're able to see what endocannabinoids and what terpenes your bodies may use to bring it back to a whole balance.
That is amazing because that's one thing is we're always trying to which one would work, which one doesn't
Exactly.
work for our bodies.
We
and-
don't know that. There's no
Right.
specific roadmap, but
Right.
with this cannabis DNA testing, you're able to actually find that roadmap much
Wow.
easier. So I actually will be having a event down at Coral Cove where the DNA testing will be part of that.
Oh, wow.
It's I'm looking to have it towards the end of February,
Nice.
and it's being able to search for cannabis, mind, body, and spirit.
Well, I think we all need to do a road trip or a plane
I-
trip to
Diane,
Jamaica.
I would love for you to be there and help teach yoga and
Yes.
everything
I would
while
love-
we're there. So
You don't have to twist my arm, Keiko.
I know I don't.
I would love to come.
Right. But
Well,
yeah.
great. So you're doing so many wonderful things, and I'm sorry, but I have to say because this is where I met you is upcoming next week, right? You have the
I
fair.
have 2 dates at the OC Fair, and that is in the Culinary Arts stage in the OC Promenade building. This is my 7th year,
Wow.
and what I do is I'm doing cooking with hemp. I'm able to
Nice.
show about the omegas and the hemp seeds and how
Great.
well it is for our body. It actually gives us, it's a full protein. It actually assists with our cholesterol and our blood pressure. It's amazing if we ingest more hemp in our diet. And I don't make a big deal out of it, but many of the things I cook are vegan. And of course, everybody does get to taste the food while they're there.
And she is a good chef, everybody. You need to go down and see her next week. It's
Well-
the 31st and the 8th.
The 31st and the 8th, August 8th and July 31st at 3 p.m. And many years ago, even before I went to Holistic College, I was a chef at Mother's Market and Kitchen,
Yeah.
which of course here in Orange County was the epitome at one point in time of the natural food store.
Right.
That's before Sprouts and Whole Foods came in. But all of those brands together make a wonderful place for people to get their fresh fruits and vegetables.
Good. And which is what you preach is to eat healthy and eat from the ground. And I think that that's so wonderful. You're going to be on stage again. That's
You
how
too. I mean, we're live, living human beings,
Yeah.
and we should ingest as much as we can of live, living fruits and vegetables.
What would you tell a brand new user about cannabis? what would you tell them on how to start or where to start? What would you, just somebody who wants to, I just want to relax.
Well, one thing, I'm on the board for Normal here in Orange County, and it's a 16-year-old nonprofit organization that focuses on expanding legislatively as well as educationally. And we have a saying, go low and slow. Whether you feel comfortable about smoking or infusing with tinctures or edibles or topicals, it's always best to go low and slow.
Right.
And I do love edibles. I actually had a little edible company there for a while, and I wrote for a magazine focused on edibles. And there's the largest competition in the world, not in the world, but here in the United States, called the Emerald Cup, and I'm actually the head judge of edibles there.
You get to try all the good ones.
I do. I mean, it's a hard job, Diane, but somebody's got to do it.
I'm so
right.
glad you standing there first,
I know,
Keiko.
I stepped up the plate for everyone. But depending on who the person is and what they feel comfortable. And what I do feel is a lot of people feel very comfortable with a topical or an edible.
Oh,
They
good.
seem to be user-friendly, and maybe smoking a joint is a little bit more sinister for certain people. They
Yeah.
feel is more of as a carcinogenic, like smoking a cigarette. But really, in all of the different forms, you have to find the one that you're most comfortable with.
Good.
So I start people out with seeing what their comfort level is, and low and slow dosages.
Good.
And for ingestibles, definitely 2.5 milligrams to 5 at the very most. With topicals, it just depends on where their aches and pains are.
Right.
Same with tinctures as well.
Which is great, which is what we do here at My Jane. It's, we start out, we have all those different things except for the flower to smoke. We have the edibles and the tinctures and the topicals, and we as well start out low and go slow just to make sure that it sits with you well and that you can get that great benefit out of it and enjoy what the plant does.
And I think you always want to have somebody that you can partner with, that will be there, that you can counsel with too, to just
Right.
make sure what you're doing is safe.
Good.
So I would always
Yeah.
say try and reach out to have somebody you can talk with.
Yeah, and that's where we're. And so, first of all, I want to say thank you so much for coming down here today, Keiko. I know you're so busy, and it's such an honor to be here with you.
It's an
And-
honor to be
Well,
here.
thank you. And anyone else out there, if you have any other stories, you can let us know at mystory@myjane.com. If you would like to go on our website and check out our goods, it's myjane.com. And if you would like to call in, I would be on the other end, Diane McConaughey, to answer your questions and answer your calls. So thank you for being here, and enjoy your day today, and happy end of July.
See you at the OC Fair.
Thanks for tuning in to My Jane, My Story. If you want to learn more, you can join the My Jane community at myjane.com. Get instant access to our Facebook group, Facebook community, educational resources, and updates on My Jane products and special events. And for personal attention right now, you can also pick up the phone and call 833-MY-JANE2. That's MYJANE2. And speak to your own wellness concierge, because it's time to own your wellness. Be well.